Okay, so this is going to be a two-parter. Because I had to answer a phone call and talk about how to do this. Um, so where were we? I know on the phone I just sold the Meta. Yeah, I just sold the Meta. And the Microsoft, but we already covered. Did we cover it? We'll just do it again. This is selling calls, and we sold the $30 call for $1. $30 is up here somewhere. God, I don't even remember. I lost my entire train of thought. So this one's going to be a mess for sure. What were we doing? Yeah. The gap fill was 29. We sold the $30. If it goes for the gap fill and tries to reject, then we can just collect those premiums or roll it out as it gains value. And yeah, that's kind of that. So I sold the $30 Microsoft or Meta ones, and we sold the Microsoft ones. And so I know I haven't talked about MSFU at all. So I can just start fresh here with MSFU because now it was kind of a mess, but it was 10 minutes to 3 o'clock, so I wanted to make sure I answered that phone call while he was actively trying to do it. So now we'll just cover the MSTR. So MSTR is up and down. It's extremely volatile. It moves with Bitcoin, and so it goes up and down according to how Bitcoin is moving. And regardless of the sentiment or feeling about cryptocurrencies or whatever, it still moves. It's still tradable. So we have Bitcoin here, and if it runs up and comes down and runs up and comes down, we've kind of been following this same trend for many months, all the way back in February. That on MSTR the moves are essentially identical to Bitcoin, but it gives us the opportunity to buy the shares and sell calls off of. Here on MSTU, it doesn't necessarily matter where you buy the shares at because it's so cheap at $6.12 that everybody can immediately just buy 100 shares of these, which is kind of the difficulty I've been having navigating everybody through how to buy and sell things, is because not everybody is able to buy 100 shares of something, and so it's been a growing process where you had to grow enough capital to be able to do this in the first place. However, with MSTU, it's $6.12, which means it only takes $612 to buy 100 shares. And so how I like this to work is that, say you bought 100 shares and it cost you $612. You can immediately sell a call the moment you buy it. Like the very moment you buy it, you can sell a call. And so you can sell a call for 60 cents. That's the bell for the market just closed. So if we look at next Friday's calls, and we figure out which one is selling for at least, say, 10% up. And the $6 calls are selling for 51 cents, which is almost 10%. Or the $6.10 plus 60 cents would be $6.70. So then we could look at the $7 call and sell it for 17 cents. So we could just sell a $7 call for 17 cents, and if this goes to $7, then it'll sell our 100 shares, but we went from $6.13 up to $7 and it sold, plus the 17 cents. Or If it doesn't go to $7, then we just automatically collect the 17 cents, which is $17, and $17 on $600 is like a 2% gain. And so you could just repeat that, or if you wanted more out of it, then you just roll out to the next day, which would be the 2 weeks from now, and say this one is 37 cents. 30 cents out of 60 cents would be 5%. So it's slightly above 5% gain every contract that you sell if it expires worthless, or it's a 10% gain if it goes from $6.13 up to $7. 10% would get us to $6.80, so then the extra 20 cents plus the 37 cents would be like a 15% gain in 2 weeks. And so then you could do that instead, where you sell the call, it expires worthless, and you collect about 5%, or it gets to $7, it executes, and you collect about 15%. And so somewhere between 5% and 15% every single week is just coming into your pocket. And MSTU is very good for that because it's volatile, it swings, it moves, and you can just buy it wherever it is and sell the call up here. And then if it swings down, this will decrease in value, and so then you can just close it worthless or close it at like 5 cents or 10 cents and just take the profits and sell another call. And you can roll it out each week or roll it back each week. And it's something you can really experiment with and play around with, because there's really no chance that you could really end up on the bad side of this, because it's so volatile. It will offer an opportunity to profit off of whatever call you had sold, so long as it's up. You don't want to sell the ones that are like $4 and say, oh, I'm doing weird stuff now. What I had done with some of the shares, where if you didn't want to do it weekly and you didn't want to do it bi-weekly or monthly, I had sold the September calls, and so this was $1.50, and the $7 call was $1.50. If this went from $6 to $7, and this is the September 18th, it's 3 months from now. The $7 call from $6 up to $7 was slightly above 5% plus the $1.50. Every 60 cents is 10%, and so it was offering about 40% return just purely off of selling the call from $1.50, and the additional dollar from here was a $2.50 profit margin that I had to work with off of a $6 share price. And so it was roughly 40% gains that I'm just going to receive in 4 months. And so it's basically what I do with Meta and Microsoft and Netflix, except it was harder to navigate it with everyone else because they didn't have the ability to buy 100 shares of something. Whereas this, you can immediately buy 100 shares of it. It's only $600. And so if you buy 1,000 of these, you can sell 10. That's $6,000. If you bought 10,000 of these, it'd be $60,000, and then you just extrapolate however much profits that would be. But I had sold the $7 for $1.50, and the reason I had sold the $7 for $1.50 is because if this is as volatile as it's been, then the $6 that I had bought this for minus $1.50 keeps me safe all the way down to $4.30, where I'm technically still profitable all the way down to $4.30, where if it expires worthless at $7, this expires, it never gets to $7, and it expires worthless, but this also stays down so that I don't even gain value on the share price, and it goes down and it goes down. I can go all the way down to $4.30 before I'm on paper technically even losing money. And so I've hedged it to the bottom side as well as the top side by picking this September date, selling the $7 call, and selling it for $1.50, because I automatically make that $1.50 regardless. And so if this goes from $6 down to $4.50, that's my $1.50. So I'm covered. I'm covered all the way down. And then at $4.50, if I sold these for $1.50, then I have $150, and I can buy more shares at that break-even price down there at the bottom at $4.50. And so this is going to fund itself at $4.50 if I buy more shares of it. And so then, it just stays in here. It goes up, it goes down, and whenever it goes up, you can sell calls for more than they're probably worth. And if this raises up to $7, $8, or $9 like it had done here, it peaked out at $10, $9.73, then this $7 call will gain value, and then we could just roll it out. And we roll it out from September to December. And if, like right now, it's $7 or $6, and this is going for $2.76, then the $10 one would be going for about $2.76. When this is $9, then the $10 one would be $2.68. So it's not going to go up drastically or unmanageably, uncontrollably, that we can still roll it to a higher price at a farther date. And then if instead of $6 selling at $7, I bought this at $6 and then I rolled this out to $10, now I get to sell what I had at $6. I get to sell it at $10 if we reach it, which is a $4 move just in the share price alone. So then I can offset some of the difference in pricing on the call from the gains that I would be receiving from $6 up to $10 versus $6 to $7. So it kind of balances out, and it kind of works that way. And yeah, I know this video got a little fucked up, but that's that it happens. So that's kind of it, and that's really what I was going to make the video about, was that we're ready here to sell calls on Microsoft and Meta and MSTR, mostly because they've risen, they've gained some value, they've given us an offering up here above our average and above what we had previously been buying for at, what is this, $6.75. Yeah, so it's offering us calls that we can sell up in this area, and that we can gain profits because our average is so low. And the same with Microsoft, that our average is so low here that now that it's decided to push and it may potentially go to close this gap, we can sell calls up here, and if we reach it, then we just make money. The downside to Netflix is that, one, it's not moving, but two, NFXL, I believe it's called. Yeah. I did not realize when I had suggested this one that NFXL doesn't have options. I've been buying Netflix and NFXL. The leveraged one, I didn't realize did not have options available for it. So we can't really sell calls off of this, and we're kind of just looking for it to come up so that you could sell it for a profit and move out of it. But yeah, that's it. That's the video.